Warning, this podcast contains discussions of sensitive topics that some listeners may find triggering. Listener discretion is advised.
Jazzcast Pros.
The story of self-care is incredible and really, I think, can help others transform their lives and realize that they need to put themselves first, and not in a negative way, but in a way that means we are pouring into ourselves so that we are able to be whole and also have something to give to other people. Thank you so much for spending time with us and keeping it real. Welcome to the Healthy Illness Podcast. I am your host, Kelly Marie. This is a podcast helping you build healthier relationships while living with mental health conditions. I am a person navigating this world, living with mental health conditions, and I use my experience, my training, my education, my background, my journey to help you also live your best life, to live a front seat life, to be the light. In today's episode, I don't have 3 points for you. I don't have tips that you're going to walk away with. I mean, maybe by the time we get to the end of our, 15 minutes, there'll be something there. But I made a promise that I would begin to be real and honest in my conversations, that I wouldn't hold back, even if I was concerned about how a topic or conversation would impact my work, like my day job. I would still have the conversation, and to not do that would be a disservice to you for listening, for letting me know that you are here and listening and all the things. And so the last couple episodes, there's been some gaps because I've been living life and trying to work through my current mental health challenges. And so this is a space, unfortunately, that takes the brunt of my reshuffling and reorganizing my brain, right? Like when it comes to prioritizing my life, the podcast, while I love it, is not number one on the list. And so I understand that personally. And we've talked about that, right? Talking about accountability and what accountability looks like, and accountability to you may be different than what accountability is to me. For me, accountability is owning the thing, owning your part of it. And so in this way, I am owning my part in not recording and apologizing. Yes, but I am not sorry that I have been taking time to manage my health, take care of myself, manage my day job, manage my home, manage the doula work, right? Managing the other pieces of my life. And this goes back to, making that list and having the white space, the clear space on your calendar to be able to decide whether or not you want to add more or not. I have come up with my plan, have been working my plan. It has been working. At the same time, it does take time for me personally, and I would say generally for most people that live with mental health conditions, to begin to see the positive response of the work that's being done. Right? We often want this like snap, I made a decision, I'm going to do better, and now I want my brain to function better right now. I want my life to be put together right now. But it honestly takes time to get back to that place, regardless of how long it took to get into the hole. And so I really thought that, by now everything would just be like pristine back in all the places and boxes. And it has not been the case. And that's okay. It's okay because I'm allowing life to unfold. I'm showing up and being present in my spaces that I'm in, and the clothes still aren't folded, right? So whatever, I'd folded some, but I wear clothes every day. And so there are more clothes that still need to be washed and folded and all the things. And so today I was coming back from the falls from a doula. We being recorded for a spot on Channel 7 here in Buffalo around Calm Your Nature and the Doula Center and the doula work that Shannon is doing. Go check out Shannon's episode if you have not. There's actually 2 episodes of Shannon Johns. And so on my drive back, I started listening to music because, music, I love to drive and drive listening to music. So I'm listening to my music and just thinking about a birth that I recently had and the importance of that work specifically, and why do I find the doula work to be so personal. My day job work in health equity is also personal to me on a policy level, because those health outcomes that Black folks are disproportionately affected by fit those categories. And so it is personal for me in that way. But the doula work is personal in another way, in that I did not have doula services when I was pregnant with my children. And I don't know what life would have been like if I did. Perhaps we would have, an earlier diagnosis of mental health, or of then postpartum depression that was actually just major depression. Perhaps I would have had a different relationship with clinical providers. Like, I don't know. Like, I can make up a billion ways in which life could have been different if I had a doula, in the way that I know that I show up for my clients. And so this, my last birth was an incredible experience. I love being in that space to be able to assist and guide and coach as a birth worker, and provide that support. But I think about these new parents and the relationships that they have with their children, and the relationships that I have with my children being adults now. And I know that, like, would I like to have a different relationship with them? I accept the relationship that I have, knowing that it is heavily seasoned with mental illness, and I was not the type of mother I would have wanted to be. And perhaps I'm harder on myself. Yes, I tried to take my life, and that has an impact and effect on them. There was a divorce, and that had impact on them. There's some other issues there that had impacts on them. And so, I struggle. Struggle is a strong word. Let me not say struggle. I struggle with where to place all the words and feeling, but the desire to help moms advocate for themselves and to learn about themselves so that they could be better parents, I would say, has me wondering if my doula work is more of penance work. I cannot change yesterday. I cannot be a different mother to the children that were newborns and 2-year-olds and teenagers. And I think my hope is that by being transparent in my healing journey, and being transparent in why I do some of the things that I do, like becoming a doula, will help me better understand me. And if my children ever listen to the podcast, help them better understand me in a way that I'm not able to communicate in conversation. And so on my way home, and nothing traumatic has happened in the last, couple weeks or anything. Like, everything's all good. I'm just always in a place of, like, learning and growing and doing better, trying to do better on this healing journey. But I do believe that the doula work is really more penance work, in that I can never change the past, but perhaps in the present, I can help families have a stronger foundation so that they can be perhaps the parent I wanted to be, or the parent that, they want to be. And so I found that really interesting and, not really motivational, not, it kind of ties into my life's mission of doing the work and letting the rest take care of itself. I cannot change yesterday. I can't change today. Like, I can only be responsible for me and my decisions and my healing and my journey. I can apologize. I can, try and explain my thought processes and of yesterday, long term yesterday, not literally yesterday, if it's beneficial. But my hope for them is that they are happy and healthy and healing and living the life that they want and desire. I don't have a way to make it better, but I do try and live in a way that allows them to see that healing is possible. I know that I am aware of the impact of my actions on their lives. And so I do not live an apologetic life that I don't believe in, but it doesn't mean that I don't get emotional when I think about what could have been. And I'm sharing that because I believe we all kind of do that sometimes, right? It's you end up in a situation or an event occurs or a thought process or a movie pops up or whatever, and it reminds you perhaps of yesterday and all of the things that might have gone wrong. But we cannot change yesterday. We can understand it to the best of our ability. Some of us dive deep, right, and may go through trauma type of therapy to recover memories and better understand the root causes of things. And others are like, listen, I don't know about the root causes, but I know what I can do today to make today a better day and plant seeds today so that tomorrow is better. We're all, adjusting and figuring out life in a way that makes sense to us. And I wanted to just really be honest and open and vulnerable with you so that I guess you know that you're not alone. Feelings that you may have around what you perhaps should have done differently or the impact of your decisions, because decisions have repercussions, to know that you can still be in a place of wholeness and healing, that you are still loved, you are still cared for, and you are not alone. And so I perhaps should have started this conversation with a trigger warning, but I didn't know where we were going. So I could not foretell you what to be prepared to do. So I probably will ask Jazz to put that at the top of the show so that you are better able to be aware and prepared for the short-term emotional, right? Like a couple minutes emotional journey that I'm currently on. Right, and I'm good. I'm healthy. I still got clothes to wash and fold. Life is lifing, not in a bad way. Things are well, but there are still moments, even when things are going well, that require you to take some time and evaluate them. To stop and say, listen, this thing is going on, and I need to stop and evaluate what's happening. I need to question my thoughts. I need to make sure I'm good. I need to, I have my checkbox of, am I okay? Right? Like, go through that checkbox to make sure that you're good in dealing with emotions of yesterday or in the moment. And there is nothing wrong with that. There is nothing wrong with revisiting the past, just so long as you're not living there, because thoughts come up. And so a part of my mindfulness journey is, ordinarily I would do some mindfulness work, which I will do after this recording, to bring myself in the present moment. I'm pretty much there, but emotions are emotions. And just see what's there. No judging of the emotions or feelings, no finger pointing internally. It's allowing it to be what it is. And so that is a part of, for me, my healing journey. is that one, the journey's never complete. There's no destination. I'm always on the healing journey, but to ensure that I'm using the tools. And so in this space, again, right, it is okay to feel the emotions. It is okay to, burst into tears, but it is okay to cry and allow your body to release whatever you're holding on to, whether it's guilt, whether it's sadness, whether it's fear. Like, it is okay, one, to feel those things, and two, to release them. And so my hope for you today in this podcast is that you, again, know that you are not alone, know that you are complete, to know that the healing journey is just that, a journey. There's no destination. And to ensure that you have a self-care plan, right? For me, a part of my self-care plan, in addition to feeling the feelings, is to be sure that I am setting aside my time to practice mindfulness, to be in the present moment, to ensure that I'm not, say, anchoring myself in the past, but ensuring that I am right here in the present and able to function and do all the things that I need to in this present moment. There's a lot of stuff happening. I'm not going to dive into what's happening out in the world. Our space here, in this podcast, just the two of us, is focusing on self and relationship to self and what that means. That does mean, though, right, in focusing on self, how are we dealing and interacting with everyone and everything outside of who we are? But generally speaking, our conversations are always going to be, in this place of self and how to make ourselves better, building those healthy relationships, working on them, and ensuring that we are showing up in the ways that are best for us. So even though I didn't have, your typical podcast, in lessons or pro tips, I hope that today was beneficial. One, again, because I always want you to see me, not the performance me, but the me. And in order to do that, I need to break and deviate from the standard and just show up as myself. And for that, I thank you for being here, for listening, for emailing and reaching out. And so I want you to know that if you are in a dark place right now and maybe you're suicidal or don't know who to talk to, don't know where to turn, but you are in need of help, I encourage you to dial 988. Head to your nearest emergency room. If your community has a psychiatric emergency room, to head there, to make sure that you get the treatment that you need in order to begin to be healthier, to build those healthier relationships with self, and then building those healthy relationships with others. If you're just looking for resources, I mean, I'm not knocking just looking for resources, but if you're just looking for resources, you can always dial 211 on your phone or go to 211 in your browser. Google's great. Google is my friend. And you can head there as well to see what's in your community and to see what's available online. We are in this incredible place where there are therapists online. You never have to leave your home. There are, group therapy organizations. You don't have to leave your home. Everything is right there, either on the computer or on your phone. So many resources out there, and we are going to cover some more of those here on the show. So until the next time, I encourage you to always be the light, not just to others, but also to yourself. It's important that you are the light to you too. More guests are coming. I've been promising you that, and there's a long list of people I've got to reach out to and schedule, but I just have not been in that mindset and place of doing that part of this work. And so I thank you for accepting that and understanding that I am doing the best in this space that my energy levels and time commitments, will allow. But yeah, you got this. I got this. We got this. We got this for real, for real. Always thank you, and always be the light.